Go.
Hello, my name is Shannon Fukushima, and today I will be giving my presentation on divorce and child health predictors. I chose this topic because I'm going to school to become a social worker, and I'm going to be working with kids that have problems and behavioral problems and issues. And I chose this because I feel that divorce sometimes plays a big part in problems of children. So I want to know how I can better help them, and I feel that everybody should know, because maybe you'll have better skills, you'll learn more skills on how to work with a child that's going through a tough time like this. I do have a handout for you folks, and it's just about tips for parents. If you can just pass it for me, please. Tips that you can do to help a child that's going through divorce and some of their feelings and stuff, too, just some information. Okay, and so I've learned that many children come from divorced families. It doesn't matter what race you are or what, none is more than the other. It's just, something that a lot of kids go through. It affects children in many ways, and by us learning how it affects the children, it's easier for us to help them get through it. For some children it benefits them, and for some children it actually has a negative effect. And benefit, what I mean is, like, in some households, I personally feel if they're always fighting, always arguing, they don't get along, they're abusive, I feel that it's better for you to actually get a divorce and let the kids be raised, where they're not into all of that abuse and emotional abuse and stuff. And it also has a negative impact on kids, because there's those kids that don't really know what's going on, because some parents are quiet about it. Some parents don't argue in front of their kids, but they're really in a bad spot, so they decide to get a divorce, and those kids take it the hardest because they didn't see it coming, so. This is a picture that I posted, that I got, that I really liked, and it says, divorce isn't such a tragedy. A tragedy staying in an unhappy marriage, teaching your children the wrong things about love. Nobody ever died of divorce, and I truly believe in that. Of course, I don't, I think that it's sad when people have to get a divorce, but if that's what's better and healthier for the kids, then I think that's what's best. So how a child is affected by divorce, the parents have to learn new ways to parent, because now they're not working together, so they have to learn one by one how they're going to do things differently and their schedules. Each and every child handles it differently. Some may handle it a lot better than others, some may have breakdowns, and some may not. Adapting to change is a huge part of the children's problems. Their school routines, their friends, their communities, they might have to move, so it's very stressful on that aspect. Their performance at school, sometimes they become distracted. They're thinking about all their home problems. It's hard to sit down and focus on schoolwork. And emotional problems such as anger, overwhelm, depression. A lot of them are they have guilt. They think like, oh, did I do something wrong? Am I giving my parents extra stress? So that's all factors that play with kids blaming themselves. These are just some pictures that I pulled up. These are two little kids listening to their mom and dad fight. And this one says, between two worlds, how divorce, even happy ones, affect kids. So even if the parents are okay and not fighting, and they decide mutually, it's time for us to separate, it still affects the children, of course, because they want their mom and dad. And this one is divorce, and it has two people split apart, and it's saying life changes. Helping a child through a divorce. So what we can do, always telling them you love them no matter what. Always making sure that they know it's not their fault, and never blaming the other parent or saying negative things about each other. I know in past experiences, I have witnessed a lot of people who do that, that they go back and tell the kids, the mom is talking bad about the dad, and it's so wrong on so many levels, because then you have this child in the middle, and it's just not fair to them. Listen to them and let them express themselves. If they're ever feeling depressed or they want to talk about it, I feel it's important that you talk to them and let them express themselves. And divorce can be a positive thing, like I had mentioned. If the relationship is not healthy, if there's violence, if there's abuse, it also can be positive because they're no longer in those difficult situations. They have a better understanding of life. And in some cases, the kids can actually become more caring. And from the research that I've done, it showed that later on in life they're actually more careful about choosing a partner. They've kind of seen what their parents are going through and know, oh, I don't want to be like that, or so it's helped. And then this is something that I researched, and I liked what she had said. It was according to Terry Gaspard, who is a licensed clinical social worker. Children who experience divorce tend to be more careful on choosing a partner to be with. They understand how fragile love is and maintain a healthy respect for commitment in their own life. And I just thought it was true. And then I posted these, and it's you won't get away with lying to your child forever. One day you will have to look into those eyes and explain when you spent more time and effort hating the other parent instead of loving them. And then this one says, parents are teachers, guiders, leaders, protectors, and providers for their children. And I posted these because I feel that it's very important for parents to know how important it is to be there for your child and not bash your ex. That's still the child's father, that's still the child's mother, and you guys should have a mutual respect for each other and be able to talk to each other. And to me, it's so important for them to even have a relationship, be civil with each other and be close with each other. That way they can show their kids, that they're still both there for the children. The children needs to know that mom and dad is still there for me. Even though we don't live in the same household, I still have their support. And I just want to thank you guys for listening to me. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask, and thank you for your time. Thank you.